And what have you asked the Minister of Public Safety to do exactly?
Well, I've asked, when this first was coming in, we had reached out and said, hey, we were getting a lot of complaints from people in the area. We had engaged with the minister and their office, and they said, yes, we're going to be doing a coordinated attack. But they said, well, it's really the police problem. They have to get a court injunction. And we spoke to the RCMP, and they said, well, we can't on Crown land. It's the province. And they were pretty good at trying to help out. But we asked for updates here ever since like the 2nd of April, and they haven't given us any updates since. But I do know that, and I don't know if the province is doing something in the background and just not telling us, but I know that the RCMP in the last 2 weeks have gone up there. 2 weeks ago, RCMP officers and natural resource officers were up there. And I don't know the particulars, but natural resource officers would deal with protection of forestry, protection of the waterway there. And then just this week, I know that RCMP officers were actually up there with social workers, trying to not just respond to the problem, but to actually get a solution and find better accommodation and so on for these people. And it's my understanding that was actually pretty successful. So I don't know if that's the province doing something, but it could very well be, and I believe it actually is, just the RCMP trying to keep people safe and work for the community. So that's what I've been hearing so far.
Now, you, as I mentioned, wrote to the Ministry of Public Safety, and we also called the Minister of Public Safety. We were told that, no, it's the Ministry of Housing that deals with this kind of thing. Have you talked to them?
So on April 15th, the Ministry of Housing did get back to our office, and they did say that they are continuing to work with partner ministries to explore next steps. This whole month, that's the only information we've received from the province. And the social workers being up there and trying to find better accommodation, that could very well be the Ministry of Housing taking that steps. But considering what the previous homeowner up there in Trepanier and what we're receiving in the community, what I think the mayor and council in the district of Peachland are hearing is there is still a public safety issue, clearly, I would say, from what your previous interview here was saying and what the community is saying. So there still is the public safety concerns. I have no idea if the housing or any other ministry is actually getting success. I've had no updates. But to be fair, though, when we first reached out to the ministry, it seems like a public safety response is an appropriate response. But there are several ministries that could and likely would be involved in finding a solution here. So housing probably would be one of those partner ministries.
And so now we have the District of Peachland, the Regional District, the province with 2 or 3 ministries, social workers, and the RCMP. I've counted 7 different agencies involved in this. I mean, for people, you heard from Rihanna, it's maddening that this kind of thing gets bandied about like this when nobody actually does anything about it. What would you like to see happen? If this is urgent, what would you like to see happen?
Well, I would have liked more of a response over the last month from the ministry. I mean, my letter did state, we're here as the MLA in our office. How can we help? We've had no communication other than the one update from housing on April 15th.
Right.
I've had no updates. It seems like maybe the District of Peachland hasn't had updates. It seems like certainly the homeowners haven't had updates, and that contributes to the problem, I would say. And no one really knows what's going on. I think that this should be dealt with. I think it's concerning. It's certainly escalating there. So there should be a solution found to this. And I think that's important is the public in that area needs to know what's going on. And as the homeowners have said to my office, as they said to you and to the District of Peachland, they're at a loss. They don't know what to do. They're going to the municipality, they're going to the regional district, they're going to the media, they're trying everything they can, and they don't know where to get help from. And so having some communication from the province, I think, whether it's with me or certainly with the homeowners in the District of Peachland, I think would be very helpful in allowing people to feel like someone is that it's under control and it's being addressed.